Paris, a city where every street hides a secret, and every lighted window whispers a story of love. For the Crawleys, this city is more than a destination. It is a crossroads. Here choices will be made, hearts will be tested, and the grand finale of their journey begins. The train screeches to a halt at Gare du Nord, steam rising into the morning air like a curtain about to reveal a stage. The Crawley family step down one by one, their polished shoes striking against the cobblestones of Paris. The hum of horse-drawn carriages mixes with the chatter of vendors and the rhythm of the city. For them, Paris is dazzling, almost overwhelming, yet it carries an air of fate. Lady Mary, dressed in elegant traveling attire, holds her chin high, her eyes scanning the unfamiliar streets. She has always carried herself with pride, but here in Paris, something stirs within her, an unspoken curiosity, a longing for something beyond duty. Her gaze lingers on the faces around her, as if searching for a story yet to be written. Close by, Lady Edith clutches her gloves tighter, her expression a blend of excitement and unease. For Edith, Paris is not only a city of light, but also a city of shadows. There are memories she has hidden here, connections she has left unresolved. As she looks at the grand boulevard stretching ahead, her heart beats with both hope and fear. Tom Branson, ever the outsider and yet more a Crawley than he once believed, watches the streets with childlike wonder. The Irishman who once challenged tradition now feels a strange belonging in this vibrant city. A hint of a smile touches his lips as he takes in the sight of artists painting by the Seine, children chasing pigeons across the square, and lovers locked in gentle embrace. Perhaps Paris, he thinks, has something to offer him too. The group moves together, escorted by porters carrying their heavy trunks. Their destination is a grand Parisian townhouse, offered by a distant noble connection. As their carriage rolls through the wide boulevards, the narrator whispers of what is to come. In this city of elegance, every choice carries a cost. Mary must decide between duty and desire. Edith will face the truth she thought she had left behind. And Tom will learn that love comes when it is least expected. The screen lingers on the Eiffel Tower rising in the distance, its iron frame catching the sunlight like a beacon. The Crawleys have arrived, unaware that their lives are about to change forever. The city does not simply welcome the Crawleys, it pulls them into its rhythm, like dancers swept into a waltz they cannot escape. Paris at night is not the quiet countryside of Downton. It is alive, golden with gas lamps, alive with laughter spilling from cafes, and heavy with perfume and secrets. For each member of the family, Paris begins to whisper different temptations. Lady Mary finds herself drawn into the orbit of Count Henri Beaumont, a man of influence, charm, and unmistakable mystery. Their meeting is accidental, or perhaps not. In a gallery filled with impressionist paintings, Mary pauses before a canvas of lovers beside the Seine. She senses a presence, turns, and meets Henri's eyes. The silence between them speaks louder than words. His gaze is steady, his smile confident, and Mary feels, for the first time in years, as though someone is seeing her. Not her title, not her duty, but her. Yet the thought of surrendering to such feelings battles with the weight of Downton's legacy pressing on her shoulders. Meanwhile, Lady Edith slips quietly into an old bookshop on Rue de Rivoli. There, hidden beneath the dust of forgotten pages, lies a chapter from her past. A familiar figure emerges from the shadows. A man she once loved. A man thought lost to time and circumstance. His voice carries a softness that pulls at her heart. Yet his reappearance brings danger as well as hope. Edith's secret, carefully locked away, threatens to surface in the very city where whispers travel faster than carriages. Tom Branson, however, embraces the life of the streets. He mingles easily with Parisians, joining debates in smoky cafes, laughing with strangers who feel like friends. Among them, he encounters Clara, a spirited schoolteacher with eyes full of determination. Unlike the aristocrats around him, Clara sees Tom not as an outsider but as a man of conviction. A man she can challenge and perhaps even trust. For Tom, her presence awakens something long dormant, the possibility of love without barriers of class or expectation. Letters are exchanged in secret corners, conversations halted when footsteps approach, glances lingered upon across crowded rooms. Paris becomes both playground and prison, where desire and deception weave together. Each Crawley carries a secret now, though none dare admit it aloud. And as the bells of Notre Dame toll in the night, the city itself seems to murmur, "Nothing remains hidden forever." The night of the grand ball arrives, and Paris holds its breath. Crystal chandeliers burn with 1,000 flames, throwing light across mirrors that double the splendor. The sound of violins swirls like perfume through the vast ballroom, where gowns of silk brush against marble floors, and the air itself feels alive with secrets. This is not simply a gathering, it is a stage, and every soul present knows that destinies will shift beneath the glow of candlelight. Lady Mary enters first, her gown shimmering like moonlight, her every step commanding attention. Count Henri waits at the edge of the dance floor, his eyes never leaving her. Around them, gossip stirs like wildfire, whispers carried from one jeweled ear to the next. Mary feels the weight of every glance, yet when Henri offers his hand, she does not hesitate. As the waltz begins, they glide across the floor, two figures moving as though Paris itself had brought them together. But under her calm exterior, Mary trembles. A choice is near, between a love that frees her and a legacy that chains her. Lady Edith slips into the ballroom quietly, yet her presence is no less striking. She carries with her a secret that could ruin or redeem her. The man from her past lingers nearby, his eyes full of longing and regret. Their reunion in the shadows has already set tongues wagging. And now, beneath the glittering ceiling, Edith must decide whether to embrace a future with him or protect her family's name. Each step she takes feels heavier than the jewels around her neck. Tom Branson, dressed simply yet proudly, does not blend with the nobles. And yet beside Clara, he shines in a way no aristocratic title could provide. They laugh together, their movements free, unburdened by the silent judgments of the room. But even here, among the splendor, Tom senses danger. His closeness with Clara threatens to ignite disapproval from those who still see him as an interloper. Then, as the orchestra swells, the climax arrives. A letter falls from a gloved hand, its contents spilling like fire into the room. A scandal, hidden for years, now hovers in the air, threatening to shatter reputations. Gasps echo through the hall, fans snap shut, and the music halts with a crash of strings. All eyes turn to the Crawleys, their secrets no longer safe. The camera lingers on Mary's trembling hand in Henri's, Edith's tear-bright eyes, and Tom's protective stance beside Clara. The narrator whispers, "Here!" Beneath the chandeliers of Paris, truth and love collide. Tonight, hearts will break and be remade. Paris wakes slowly, its rooftops bathed in the pale light of dawn. The echoes of the ball linger, laughter, music, and scandal. But the city does not pause. Carriages rattle, cafes open, and life continues. Yet for the Crawleys, nothing feels the same. Each of them has crossed a threshold, and the morning brings not only light but clarity. Lady Mary stands alone on a balcony, the Seine shimmering in the distance. In her hand rests a letter from Count Henri. His words passionate, his promise certain. He has offered her love, freedom, and a life unbound by the weight of Downton. For a moment, Mary closes her eyes and imagines it. Walking Parisian streets, hand in hand, no title, no expectation, only love. But when her eyes open, she sees the reflection of her late father in her memory, the legacy of her family imprinted on her very being. With quiet strength, she folds the letter and presses it to her heart. She will choose love, but on her own terms, in her own time. Paris has given her the courage to see that. Lady Edith, by contrast, has found a strange calm. In the hush of a garden cafe, she meets the man from her past one final time. His hand trembles as he reaches for hers, but Edith smiles softly, pulling away. "I am not the woman I was," her eyes seem to say. Paris has reminded her that her worth does not depend on secrets or shadows. As she rises, sunlight catching the edge of her gown, She knows her path will be walked in independence. Her story is no longer defined by what she lost, but by what she will build. Tom Branson sits by the Seine with Clara, the air filled with the sound of children laughing nearby. She teases him for his seriousness, her laughter free and warm. He smiles, truly smiles. For the first time in years, Clara represents a new beginning, one not tied to class or duty but to shared ideals and honest affection. Tom knows it will not be easy, but he has never wanted easy. He has wanted real. Paris has given him exactly that. The Crawleys gather once more, seated at a wrought iron table in the morning sun. Coffee steams in delicate cups, the clatter of the city rising around them. For a moment, they are not lords and ladies, not heirs and widows. They are simply a family, bound by love, scarred by secrets, but stronger for both. As the camera pulls back, the Eiffel Tower looms in the distance, its iron frame glowing in the early light. The narrator's voice returns, soft but certain. Night falls once more over Paris. The city, restless yet eternal, shimmers under a blanket of stars. Lanterns glow along the Seine, their reflections rippling like dreams across the dark water. In the distance, the Eiffel Tower rises, its lights flickering in steady rhythm, a heartbeat for the city that never truly sleeps. And here, beneath this glow, the story of the Crawleys draws to its quiet end. Lady Mary walks alone across a bridge, the night air brushing against her face. She pauses, gazing at the tower, and allows herself the smallest of smiles. For once, she does not think of estates or inheritance, but of herself, as a woman who has survived grief, embraced love, and learned to carry her choices with pride. Her path is uncertain, but for the first time, she welcomes the uncertainty. Not far away, Lady Edith stands at a bookstall along the river. She lifts a worn volume, its pages yellowed with age, and runs her fingers across the words. Paris has taught her that stories need not end as tragedies. They can be rewritten, reclaimed. Closing the book, she looks outward, toward the life waiting for her beyond titles and expectations. For Edith, Paris has become not a reminder of what she lost, but a symbol of what she can create. Tom Branson lingers with Clara at a quiet corner cafe. Their laughter mingles with the sounds of accordions played in the street. He speaks of Downton with affection. Yet when Clara's hand slips into his, he understands that love does not ask him to forget his past. It asks him to live fully in his present. In her eyes, he sees the possibility of a future built not on compromise, but on courage. The family gathers one last time at the edge of the Seine. No grand speeches, no declarations, only the comfort of being together, the silence speaking louder than words. The river flows on, carrying secrets, promises, and memories away into the night. As the screen lingers on the glittering Eiffel Tower, the narrator's voice rises solemn and warm. Paris has been their witness, their stage, their confessor, their final chapter. From the quiet dignity of Downton to the luminous heart of France, the Crawleys' tale ends not with farewell, but with a promise that love, once found, never truly leaves us. And so in the City of Light, their story is complete. The music swells, the lights fade, and the screen surrenders to black, leaving only the echo of violins and the memory of Paris. Time softens the memory of Paris, yet its mark upon the Crawleys lingers like perfume carried on the wind. Months have passed since that glittering night when secrets spilled and hearts were tested. But the City of Light has not let them go. It clings to them in fragments. The echo of music from a ballroom, the hush of dawn over the Seine, the glow of lanterns reflected in tear-filled eyes. The grand finale did not end in Paris. It lives on in the choices they carried home. At Downton, Mary walks through the familiar corridors, her heels striking against the stone floors with the same authority as ever. Yet something in her has changed. She no longer hides behind duty alone. In the silence of the library, she keeps Henry's letter tucked safely inside a drawer, not as a chain but as a reminder. She has the power to choose her own path. Paris taught her that love need not weaken her. It can strengthen her resolve. Edith, meanwhile, returns to her work with a fire unimagined before. Her magazine flourishes, her voice resonates louder, and her confidence grows unshakable. The timid Edith who once sought validation in shadows is gone. In her place stands a woman who has reclaimed her narrative, armed with the courage she found in Paris. Every article she writes carries a whisper of the city's spirit, bold, unflinching, alive. Tom Branson finds himself back in the familiar countryside, yet no longer restless. Clara visits, her laughter spilling across the green lawns of Downton. The contrast between Parisian cafes and English meadows could not be sharper, yet Tom realizes love is not bound by place, but by presence. He is no longer the outsider who arrived by chance. He is a man who belongs wherever his heart is free. And so, in quiet moments, the Crawleys remember. They remember Paris not as an ending, but as a turning point. The city had asked them to confront their secrets, to risk scandal, to open themselves to love. And though they returned to their world of tradition and responsibility, they carried back with them something rare: the courage to live honestly. The narrator closes the tale with a gentle truth. Paris was never meant to keep them. It was meant to change them. And though the Crawleys' chapter here has ended, the city of love will forever echo in their hearts. For in Paris, they did not lose themselves. They found themselves. The screen fades, not to black, but to a soft golden light, like the glow of Paris at dusk. A memory eternal, a finale without end. The story has reached its quiet stillness, yet echoes remain. Just as a theater's curtain falls and applause fills the hall, so too does the Crawleys' tale deserve its closing bow. Paris has given them love, loss, and clarity. But more than anything, it has given them a moment of truth, each discovering who they are when stripped of duty and shadowed expectations. The final images unfold like memories sealed in glass. Mary standing at Downton's window, gazing outward not with longing but with determination. Edith, her pen moving across paper, words flowing with confidence. A woman who finally knows her worth. Tom, laughter alive on his lips, holding Clara's hand with no hesitation. Each of them framed in their own light, no longer defined by what they owe to others, but by what they now claim for themselves. Then a gentle return to Paris, the city itself, alive and eternal. Lovers stroll beneath lamplight, artists sketch in Montmartre, children chase birds across cobblestones. The Crawleys are gone, but their story lingers in these streets, as if the air itself remembers them. The Eiffel Tower glitters one last time, its golden lights pulsing against the night sky, a beacon of romance and remembrance. The narrator's voice, soft as velvet, closes the saga. Stories do not truly end. They live on in memory, in whispers, in the lives they touch. For the Crawleys, Paris was not a destination, but a revelation. They arrived as heirs and dreamers, bound by duty. They departed as souls reborn, unafraid of love, unafraid of truth. And though the grand finale has played its final note, the music of their journey will forever echo. In the city of light, the screen fades, the music swells into a final orchestral crescendo, then dissolves into silence. A single phrase appears, simple yet profound. Downton Abbey 3. Romance in Paris. The grand finale. And with that, the curtain falls.